Yeah. Yes, we're back, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Roland and Shane Evans from Collective Soul. Very nice to have you here. I know you're going to be busy tonight. You're playing the Warehouse at what time?
Probably about 10:30.
10:30. All right, good. Now you know what you remind me of? Early Allman Brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hope you find that flattering.
No, we do. Yeah, they actually, our hometown is about 40 miles north of where their hometown is in Georgia.
Yeah, it's that Southern rock, that powerful, powerful guitar stuff, you know.
I appreciate the compliment. That's
well, you guys.
I don't know about that.
Well, you guys probably haven't heard a thing since '94, but I'm just telling you. Now, you're a new dad, Ed?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, how's that going for you?
That's great. He's actually here. He got to come to his first TV show.
Really? How old is he?
7 months.
7 months and he's here. Which one is he?
I think he's downstairs in the green room.
I think I'd be able to pick him out of this crowd.
They're already trying to make him misbehave.
Now, one of the segment producers told me today that you were influenced by Elton John's greatest hits. You found that inspirational?
Actually, that was the first. My introduction to rock and roll was the first LP I ever bought. It was. I didn't know anything about him. I still remember the band. It was like Olivia Newton-John, Elton John, and John Denver. And I remember thinking, Elton John just dressed so cool.
Right.
You know, so basically I picked it up because he had that cool white outfit on. And from there on, I've been hooked ever since.
Wow. One has to wonder how you fellas would have showed up today, dependent upon your choice.
Well, Shane's hair probably would have been a little bit different.
Yeah.
Shane, not to be rude or anything, but what color would you call it?
White, bluish, sort of rudish. I don't know.
And does the word all natural mean anything to you?
Not a thing.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I'm really glad you guys took the time to drop by. And you're also playing the Kokanee concert this weekend?
Correct.
Yeah, and that's up in Blue Mountain. So if folks want to get tickets for that, they're still available.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And I wish you good luck on the rest of the tour. You're going to be in Canada very long?
We have about another week, I believe. We kind of keep going east up and finish up in Quebec City.
Oh, great. Yeah, good, good. There's more country east of there, but...
Well, that's as far as east as we go, I guess.
All right, all right. Well, let's try to look further on. You'll see other things. That's great. Well, I want to thank you for coming, and good luck, fellas.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
I'm being joined here by two guys from one of my favorite bands of all time, Ed and Joel from Collective Soul.
Hi there.
Hello.
So we're going to ask the guys a bunch of questions because, as maybe some of you don't know, they have a brand new album coming out, finally, called Youth. And I'm going to start out pretty much, Ed, brand new album, how does it feel?
Feels amazing. We took some time off. Our last studio album was 4 years ago. We did a Greatest Hits 3 years ago, and we really needed a break. We did like 6 albums in 7 years and a lot of touring. We really had no time off. And I'm a single dad. I have a little boy, and I wanted to be dad for a while. And Will, our bass player, has a boy same age as mine. He wanted to be a dad for a while. Him and his wife wanted to have another one. So we just went home and got domesticated for a little bit. Without the cooking part, I can't cook, but I'm domesticated.
How was that after being on the road, just being a dad?
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's the best thing I've ever done in my life, without a doubt. And now, he's 6 now, and you know, I never told him what Dad does, or, you know, just kind of kept him out of that whole scene, but kind of eased him into it a little bit this year. We've been doing some shows, and he really likes what Dad does now. It's fun. So he's old enough to. Dad's not cool. The rest of the guys are cool. Dad's Dad, you know. And so, but he has a blast.
Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about the new album, the title, Youth.
You know, I just think we feel rejuvenated. You know, because like I said, we just needed some time off, and you know, being around for 10 years now as a band, we feel more youthful than we did 10 years ago. We truly feel just excited to be the position we're in and ready to go.
Now, 10 years together as a band, as you know, it's hard. So I should say happy anniversary.
Thank you.
But in the business itself, if you could go back, I'm sure there's a lot of things that you would change and stuff like that. But let's talk about the fact that you had all those hit singles, 7 number ones, and then, of course, you guys probably one of the hardest working bands out there. I think it's an Atlanta thing. Because after meeting the guys with 7 Dust and hanging out with them, once again, hard-working guys.
Hard playing, too. Those boys, hard-working, hard playing.
You know, so the Atlanta's got a really cool music scene, and which you guys came up in, which is where Joel came in from as the newest member of the band.
That's me.
How's it been for you?
It's been great.
Be honest.
Okay, they've stopped beating me, and it's great. Yeah, I was in a local band, Steep, and trying to do the day job thing and do the band thing at night. And I'd worked with Ed previously and on some of their records as a guitar tech actually. And so I guess when they made their changes in their band, they gave me a call because it was kind of an easy fit. Kind of knew the songs and already kind of knew.
Y'all knew each other, so
yeah.
there wasn't any kind of like initiation thing, or did they kind of thank you, sir, may I have another kind of thing?
That's been going on for quite a while.
Oh, okay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
That microphone.
So before we even started the interview, Ed gave me the good news that the band has just gotten the go-ahead for a video for the first single from the
counting
album.
the days. Yeah, we're excited about that because we originally thought, we're going to put a rock track out there and we'll do the video on the second song. So now I like the vibe. Things are going so well and got the okay.
Let's talk another thing about one of the things that I think is Collective Soul's one of their trademarks almost is that you guys really are hard rock. You've also got the pop thing going. You've done the ballads, and you're really all over the map. And that's really from the influences that you guys have had coming up as a songwriter. Let's talk about Shine, which won a Grammy for Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton, I know.
Which was I thought kind of fitting.
Truly unbelievable. The highest compliment you can have as a songwriter to have someone of Dolly Parton's caliber, who's an unbelievable songwriter, written some of the best songs in country pop, and for her to cover, Shine, she doesn't have to do that, and that was just absolutely the coolest thing and an honor. And she's a sweetheart. I sent her flowers after I heard she did it, and she wrote the sweetest letter. I mean, she's Dolly. That's all you can say. She's Dolly Parton, just the icon.
Well, you guys actually have a lot of pretty big name friends. You had Elton John on the last studio album.
Yeah, we're simple people. We like to meet people. We're still fans of music. That'll never go away. So any chance we get to meet our heroes, we're there, man. We're there, asking what's up. So
let's get philosophical for 1 second. What does music mean to you?
You first, Joel.
Thanks.
No.
Music. I mean, I have to go back to the very first time I saw somebody play the guitar. It was a magical thing for me. Prior to that, we were just beating on this thing, playing "Smoke on the Water" with one string, and the whole seriously. And when my buddy, his cousin or whatever came over and actually tuned the thing up and made it make sense. I mean, it was truly a magical thing for me. And to make money at it is, it's great. I mean, it's more, well, I thought we worked something out.
Give me that mic.
No, but really, it's just like music really touches people in so many different
Yeah, it's
levels.
just life, man. It's just it's an extension of my leg, arm. I don't know. It's just everyday life. It's a breath, as far as I'm concerned.
Where do you draw your inspiration from for a lot of your songs?
I guess things that happen to me directly or indirectly. It doesn't necessarily have to happen to me. I can see a friend go through something, or witness things on the news. But I'm not a great storyteller. I'm not. I wish I could write more songs like that. I've done it a couple of times, like she said, that really tells a story. That Bruce Springsteen style of writing, I can't lyrically hadn't gotten a hold of yet, but maybe one day I'll get a little better at it.
Well, I don't know. She said I think it's probably one of the best songs you've ever written.
Oh, thanks. And I truly one of my favorites up into the new record, and the reason being because it truly tells a story in a cool way and is uplifting. So, maybe if I can concentrate, knock some more words into my old 50-word vocabulary, I can get something like that done one day.
So the new album, there's a lot of really powerful songs on there. Satellite, the finger picking on Satellite's phenomenal.
There he is, right there. Give it to him.
That is simply amazing. Which is a new sound for
the
Collective
hell was
Soul.
that?
Cool. He comes with sound effects.
I know.
It's like Tickle Me Elmo.
Wind him up.
That's
Yeah.
a really different sound for you guys.
But that's one of the reasons we'd been wanting Joel in the band for a while, because he brings that element in there from slide. There's a slide solo I think is just one of the coolest things I've ever heard on How Do You Love, and to the finger picking, which he does that little classically trained. That's where he comes from, which I don't even understand. Don't know how it
that
happened.
whole finger thing. I'm just
Give
like,
him a
give me
guitar.
pick.
Watch his craziness.
So I've been waiting. So it's just like, let the next question. I haven't seen the band with Joel, so. And I got to tell you, I've been getting hit with emails left and right from Collective Soul fans once I told them about the interview. When are you guys doing a tour?
We'll start the first of the year. Right now we're doing a lot of publicity and press. to the release of the record, and then hopefully do a lot of festivals, holiday radio shows or whatever, and then the first of the year kick it off hard for a whole year.
Excellent, because it's been too long since you guys have been on the East Coast.
I
as far
know,
as I'm
it's been a
concerned.
while.
So
It was
had-
funny, you know, we
yeah.
were traveling around, we're like, man, that's ridiculous. We
I
haven't
get
played here
people
in a
from
while.
Canada going, are they coming to Canada? And it's like, why would anybody come to Canada? It's like,
Oh, we're coming. We're
but
coming.
I told them
We're
that there's
coming.
a big tour coming behind it and stuff like that.
We're excited about that. It's fun to play again, man. That's the cool thing, taking that break. Everything's fresh and fun.
Well, you guys have all been together. I mean, forget about the band 10 years. Will and Shane and
Yeah,
Dean
they're-
have grown up together.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
so-
and you watch them, so they're really more like, aside Dean being your brother.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're real all like your little brothers that
Yeah,
you've
they truly
watched
are.
grow
You know,
up.
I remember going home at mom and dad's, and those fools be running around, hitting each other, and all that craziness that little boys do at that age. And yeah, it's just it's bizarre. Still know 'em.
You guys decided to do your own thing this time with your own label.
Correct.
Why?
When we got off our last label, we wanted to take some time off, and then we thought, you know, we'll go get signed. We just wanted some time off. But during that little year break, things were so crazy at record labels to me. Right now, things have changed more in the record industry in the last 3 years than they did from the beginning of rock to that point, I believe. It truly has, with new media such as this. There are different ways for bands to exploit their music. And we started looking at not only from the pay scale of things, but from our fan base that we had worked hard to have to what we felt we could do as on our own. And basically, it's an independent, but it's a major release in a sense. We have major distribution. We have the same guy that worked our records at Atlantic, who got laid off and all that craziness, is working our record now. The guy, Danny Bush, who knows me better than anyone in the industry, is working our record. So we started going to look at the major record labels, and you know, and they're talking the same deal, which is just not artist friendly. And I'm not saying major record labels are evil. They're just not necessary in some bands' cases. So we sat down and said, this is good for us, and hopefully this will open the eyes to other bands that have the ability, that are in the same position we are, to do it on their own also, and own and keep your own music, which is a good thing.
Right now, the label's for you guys, but maybe a media mogul, record mogul kind of thing down the road?
You know what? If so, it's going to be a totally different model, and we've talked about that. If we can have time after the band thing's such a full-time job,
Of course.
it's hard to do anything else. So if this really works well, and we're able to set a certain schedule, I would love to do that. I would love to be able to help young bands, or even bands that are in the position that we are, show them our model. I'm not here to make money. I'm just here for artists to own and keep their own music. That means more to me than anything, being an artist and a songwriter. And Joel's the same way. He's a songwriter also. I mean, you want to own and keep that. You deserve to.
Well, it's
So-
a part of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect? Okay.
Exactly. That's a great analogy. It is a part of you, and
Well, it's a child. Every song, I mean, writing songs myself, it's a thing. It's just like it's a piece of you, and you want to nurture to make sure it doesn't get stolen or hurt or abused.
yeah,
Whatever.
and it truly is. And when you start putting a whole group of it together on a CD, I mean, that's a big deal. So hopefully this model will work, and if nothing else, give other bands, you know, the courage and faith to take that leap and get out there and do it yourself. Because if you really search it out, it's like things we're doing here with Pseudo. There's just so many different avenues now for kids and people to know your music's out there. It's not a hard thing being your own label, man.
Well, you definitely don't have to worry about distribution. I mean, the internet has opened up bands
Yeah.
to a global audience
Exactly.
that you wouldn't have had before.
Exactly.
So, I mean, with the new media, how do you guys feel about the whole downloading, illegal downloading? I mean,
You know what? I think when it first came out and everybody was screaming about it, to me, once again, I think it should be the artist's choice. If I so choose to give it away, it's mine. If I don't, you know, once again, we need to get paid. It is a business. You can never forget that. But at the same time, now that it's ours, I don't mind if it gets out there. So it just, you know, it kind of spreads. You know, you don't want it to get out of control. But I believe in what we do. I believe if somebody hears one of our songs, I think it's going to create curiosity, and they're going to want to hear more. And I really believe that if nothing else, they'll come to our show, they'll, you know, and see us, and then they'll buy other CDs, the catalog, or whatever. So I'm not against it. I'm not for it. It's just kind of one of those controlled things. I like it to be controlled.
right. Well, it's something that you just have to. It's just a part of the industry now.
Correct.
So you can't really fight it.
Right.
Anymore.
Right. And you know what? I'm not being weird. I can remember doing that on cassette tapes
Oh,
from the
cassette
radio.
tapes, sure.
You know, And I was, and it wasn't I was stealing from them. I truly was excited about that artist, and I guarantee you I bought everything of theirs. It truly was that kind of excitement for me.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. I mean, it's just like you find an artist, you just want to find out about him.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of artists today, and it's a shame, is that record companies, they're not the evil that everybody says, but they are kind of looking for that hit single that they can regurgitate and work over and over again. So maybe you only get that 1 or 2 songs on an album that are good and the rest is filler. So it is kind of hard being a music consumer. Any kid,
Right.
$15 for an album.
For 2 songs.
Right.
That they, you know, they're guessing maybe 2 songs are good, and you know, it's I just, you know, but it's cool. The internet allows you to listen to that song, and get the one you want. I love that.
Well, being on
You
the
know what?
internet,
It makes you more conscious of your songs too, because once again, now you're judged by every song, which I love. I think that's great. Instead of like one, you know, and you get the
singles.
CD. Yeah,
Your
exactly.
singles.
I love that. I think it's great.
Well,
It's
that's
great for
always-
the industry.
That's always been my thing with you guys. Is I mean, there's songs that people never heard of that I think are just phenomenal. And
Well,
it's
thank
just
you.
like, you know, She Said, which was a hidden track on Dosage and was
Mm-hmm.
also on Scream. But the songs like Bleed and Reach
cool.
and
Oh wow, you're digging way
Maybe.
back.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Oh, we
it's-
learned maybe the other day. That's cool.
That's a great song.
Thank you.
You know, so it's, and that's another thing. Each album has had its own little unique flavor, and you know, it's definitely Collective Soul. The new album, you can hear it, but there's so much more to it, and you guys kind of like went a little bit outside the lines. A little
Yeah, we wanted to this time a little bit. You know, we've been away so long. We went. I mean, there's still vintage Collective Soul, I would call it. Like Counting the Days to me is riff rock, vintage Collective Soul. But there's other ones like Better Now with the sax. You know, I was listening to a lot of David Bowie at the time when we wrote the song, and I was like, man, it'd be cool to put a sax in a rock song. I hadn't heard that in a while.
Yeah, no
you know,
doubt.
Bruce and NXS and David Bowie were the only ones I could really, just off the top of my head, come up with. Huh? The Stones, yeah. So we were like, let's do it.
No, it's cool. There's a couple of string sections on
Yeah.
a couple of the other songs. I mean, really just a great, powerful album.
Thank
so
you.
I
Thank
really
you so
wanna
much. We're very proud of it. Thank you for
congratulate
saying that.
guys,
That's so
you
cool.
know. Trust me when I say this album is going to blow you guys away. Collective Soul fans, you've been waiting a long time. I've been waiting a long time. The album is due to drop in November.
November 16th.
I've already got it, but I promise I'm not going to put it online.
Have you seen the artwork yet?
I have seen the artwork. I
like
like
that?
the cover.
Yeah, I do too.
I do like
Yeah,
that
I
cover.
thought you'd like that.
Yeah, it's, let's just say that if you guys haven't seen the cover yet, it's going
Is
to
there
be
somewhere they can look that up on our
um,
website? Can they see that yet?
Is it up there? I haven't think.
Not
think
yet?
I don't
All
think it's out yet.
We'll get it to you. Don't worry, we'll get it to you.
It's going to be worth it. So like I said, the new album, Youth, is out in November. The guys are going to, you heard it here, big tour, 2005. They will come to you, even Canada. I shouldn't say anything. I love the Canadians.
We love the Canadians,
They're
man.
okay.
They rock.
They're great for hockey and beer. No, really. But I want to thank Ed and Joel because for me as a music lover and stuff, Collective Soul is one of my all-time favorite bands, and Ed's actually been a pretty big influence on my writing as well. So for me, it's a real honor.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much, brother. That was so kind.
Ed?
Thank you so much.
Joel, thanks so much. Get the new album. You're not going to be disappointed. And a video, we'll put it up on Pseudo right away. You can also check out old Collective Soul videos on the site as well. I make sure that they're up there and that they haven't gone anywhere. So I'm Steve for Pseudo.com with Ed and Joel from Collective Soul. We're out. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That was good.
We have Joel and we have Ed. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, good afternoon.
Thank you, man.
It is great to welcome you. You guys just did a fantastic set on stage here at our Emma Barbecue.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
We always look for an excuse to come hang with you. You know that.
Well, there's so much I want to ask you about, but first of all, in the set, Hollywood was wicked because it was about 5 times longer than it is on the album, which is the new song from Afterwards Hollywood, and you do a little AC/DC thing in the middle of that. How'd that come about?
I mean, that's, you know, we grew up in the 80s, and I know AC/DC 70s, but we grew up loving songs from the 80s, which is where Afterwards came from. I mean, Hollywood came from was the Cars. We loved the Cars growing up and NXS, bands like that. So when I first started writing the song, I was like, all right, here, it's a Cars tune. And so it's a funny story. We were actually on tour with Metallica in South Africa. And Joel's like, you know what, Ed, that's a good song, but it needs a little guitar work in there. So we're backstage real quietly with a computer. Joel showing me this riff he had, and he's the one that came up with the cool riff in the middle to beef it up a little bit. So when we were playing it, I think we were on 2 months ago, we just I just surprised the guys. I was
Yeah.
like, this little breakdown. Like, I'm gonna give them a little something. See if they can follow me.
Worked out
And
quite nicely.
everybody can follow with AC/DC.
Yeah. Well, they should be able to.
In the beginning, there was AC/DC.
And it is a long way to the top if you want to rock
There
and
you go.
roll, as you guys can testify to, perhaps better than most bands I know. On this new record, I'm sure you've been asked this before, but I love artwork on albums to the degree that we have albums anymore, CDs, whatever you want to call them. And the 5 members of the band are in a swank, upscale-looking restaurant, and there are 5 posters or framed photographs behind each of you. Can you tell? I can't see what all of them are, even on a
I think it's
close-up
fruit.
photo.
To be honest with you, if you promise
very
not to tell
mystical.
anybody.
Was
We-
there any
we-
significance to it?
No, we
first
had
of
done
all?
a photo shoot
maybe.
for the CD, and it didn't come out to what we wanted because we're really laid back. We wanted something that was fun, and so I actually called a part-time photographer in our hometown, Atlanta, who actually happens to be a hairdresser.
Cool.
And he's the one that took these photographs. We were shooting all day, and we're like, we went to his partner's restaurant, and we're like, we sat down and had soup, and I was like, hey, start taking pictures of us here. And we were, as you can see, there's empty bottles of wine around us. So, it kind of showcases the band's personality, which is, sometimes people think we're a very serious band and we're most goofballs on the planet, I think.
Well, so there was were the 5 photographs there prior to you
Correct.
guys sitting
Yes, they
down?
were. Yes, they
Okay,
were.
perfect.
And it's part of the little restaurant. It's it's an organic restaurant,
What's the name of the restaurant?
Metro Fresh.
Metro Fresh. So if anyone's visiting Atlanta,
Go see it.
Go see
go,
Metro
go eat
Fresh.
it. Go eat it.
Where
It's good stuff.
afterwards,
Good food.
photo cover was. What were you eating, Joel? By the way.
I believe that was chili.
Chili.
Okay.
Joel's a chili dude.
Cool. Now, on this record, there's so many. Hollywood is the one we've been playing, but the record itself, totally different concept, even from when Youth came out, in that you're only releasing it through Target and iTunes. And it's interesting because I was talking with Chad from Live a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about the new models that certain bands are adopting that have been around the block a few times and are quite weary of the record companies, quite frankly. And I'm curious as to why. If you think that would be a limiting thing, putting it just in a Target, just one place in a store and one computer place you can go.
Being independent, we don't look at it as being limiting. I would like to think that we're very important in one of the major distribution centers in the United States, other than being maybe or maybe not important in all of them. I'd like to be.
It's more of a streamlining kind of concept. I
Same
think,
thing, yeah.
I think more than
And the other thing is we're urban, so I got 2 Targets around me. Every time I'm home, I got to go take my son to get the newest game. So I'm in a Target, so I'm like, oh, this makes perfect sense. This is where I shop. I would buy a CD here.
That's so cool, and it's working, isn't it?
So far, so good. They've accepted us in their family, and they've been very supportive. And it's a unique way of doing business now. I think the Eagles are going to do it on their next release.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
I actually know of underground 3 other major bands that are going to do it also, but I don't want to say anything because I shouldn't know about it. But it may be the new way of doing business.
Well, I think it's on your website. You thank fans for, first of all, sticking with you, but also point out that when you buy this record, you're helping to change the music industry. And how do you mean that exactly?
Because I don't think there's a rule. There's no rule to rock and roll, even in songwriting, even in business. I mean, it's the most unorthodox world to me in general. So when you talk about songs, when you talk about rock and roll, there are no rules. So when you go, okay, we can accept a band doing this in this term, excuse me, then we can accept new bands doing it if they want to release it just through MySpace or whatever. There's the internet, and I use that as an example, opens up so many avenues for young bands to be heard. Right. And I do that we streamline all the time. What's it called? The buffer. Streaming the buffer.
What is that?
To hear new bands when you're on the internet and you do an iTunes and you do the little tree. You keep going here to hear this band. If you like this band, you'll like this band. It's very educational to me as a music lover to see I like this kind of music. Where do they get their influence from, or what are the other listeners that buy this? What are they listening to? And I just think it's such an open avenue, and it's not so one-dimensional. I think it's so multidimensional now.
Well,
as
I
far
mean,
as the way to get music and who influences who, or are what listeners are listening to.
Right. You've said you like OK Go, for example, and they got their break by coming up with that very creative video on the internet of the guys
That's a great
dancing,
example. Yeah, 'cause they've
choreographed
been around a
on
minute,
on the treadmill, and that broke not through any record company, but through
And to be honest, it didn't break through radio. It broke through like them going, okay, we're going to do
Different
this
avenue.
our way right here and visually, and then people see it visually, which I've always said visual is just another avenue of hearing it. You know, your audio, you're hearing it through your ears. Nobody's going to watch a video and go, that video's cool, but that music's horrible. You know, they don't turn the volume down to watch MTV or VH1. They're still listening.
The last thing is, I just have to give it up to you. You've not followed the rules, or particularly because you had a bumpy time with the record industry, and you've charted your own path, and it's working for you, and that has to feel good.
It feels great, and hopefully other bands, if it's right for them, will follow it also.
But
and
you
we know
haven't
there's
given
a lot
up.
There's
You
a lot of
haven't
bands that
given
are
up.
watching us.
Well.
And paying attention to that, and I think you're going to see a lot more of what we started in the record industry. I really believe that.
The future, what do you think? With this band, Collective Soul, where do you see it?
I think Joel's going to do a solo record here pretty soon. He's got a half of it done.
Well, yeah, that's not really Collective Soul, but
No, but I mean, but you're part of it. I think the band will do another one. I'd like to do a solo record at some point if y'all give me
there's
time.
lots of music. If that's what you're asking, and I think Ed for sure has got. They're coming out every day. Just so I mean, we go on the road. And we love to play live, but we can't wait to get back in the studio and record too. So
it's interesting that you say
not enough time in the day.
Riding on the road, because a lot of people have a hard time riding on the road, but you just said a few moments ago that you love riding on the road.
I have no choice. If I'm on the ride, it's on the road.
Same
We're on
for
the
you?
road too much.
Yeah, well, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long is this tour going?
We go out. We co-headline with Live for.
Well, for the live
first
till
of
the end
November?
Yeah.
And then we get a break for a couple of weeks, and then it'll go on forever. Who knows? I can't give you.
Do you guys ever play together on stage? You ever do a few songs together, or have you tried that out?
We're going to.
We hope
Ed
to,
doesn't know it.
yeah.
Two Eds on stage. I mean, it can't be wrong.
Excellent. Well, Joel Koshy and Ed Rowland, thank you so much for stopping by.
thank you,
Congratulations
Peter.
on
Thank you for having
Afterward.
us.
And we want to play All That I Know from the new record on 93.3 WMMR. Good to see you guys.
Thank you.
And thanks for the
Pleasure.
shout out. You said
did.
gel out to me, which was
you
very
doggone
kind.
right, bro.
Thank
You're
you.
a boy.
Go, Pierre.